Welcome to Let's Make Movies, the channel and community dedicated to sharing filmmaking experience. Today, I want to go over a little bit of what I learned directing my last short film, 5 Candles. We just wrapped up production, and there are a few things that I learned that I don't see covered much on YouTube.
All right, sound to speed.
Okay. 5 Candles, scene 3, take 10.
One of the things that I see a lot of people not really talk about in the filmmaking community is what it really does take to be a director. And one of the things that I learned, and it was kind of drilled in my head over the production cycle of this last short film, was that it takes a masterful level of communication.
Let's go this way next time. One more take.
Yeah, sorry, kind of outpaced you there, huh?
Yeah, that's okay. Step it forward a little bit.
Just trying to give you a chance.
All right.
Head start.
And
Yeah.
action.
It is your job to make sure the entire cast and crew understand exactly what is expected of them and the vision that you are pretty much going for. And do not trust every single person that says, yes, they get it. It's okay to continue to have the conversation and to have the conversations over and over and over again. That's your job. And if people give you a little bit of pushback, that's okay too. Don't be so pushy. Make sure you give people responsibility. People respond very positively to trust. But make sure you are continuing to have the conversations about what exactly you want your film to look like, what the frames to look like, what the sets to look like, the type of character that you are trying to portray on screen, the mindset of the character on screen, and really be consistent with how you're treating everybody and communicating that vision.
Pretty much lit up. And then there's a man standing back there.
Okay, now you
Right.
want me to
And I'm
talk
back.
right?
Yeah. Right? And then come here. Come close.
Don't always assume that everybody knows what's going on. And I found myself very much lost in kind of an ethereal or stuck on some sort of quick production problem. And a different department, a different situation was brewing down the road that I, wasn't necessarily aware of. Luckily, we were with a small set and we were able to fix a lot of those problems right away. But communication is key. And that is one thing that I think I'm going to really have a lot more preparation time with that and understanding exactly what the vision was for this particular short film. We kind of just got the script. I threw together a bit of a mood board, a shooting schedule, we casted it, and we kind of did a quick rehearsal and talked about what I want it to look like, and then it was production time. Are you recording? You're recording? Cool.
Do you need this?
Yeah, do it for me.
I don't know what take one.
Scene 1.
Scene 1.
Got it. Another thing that I learned directing this short film was that it's really important to understand that it is my job to get the actors into the mindset for the scene.
What?
Would you
I
say
gotta get up
prefer?
early.
What?
Would you say prefer, or would you say like you
Yeah,
can
what
stay?
would you say?
Like prefer is such a like
Pro-
articulate word.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm not saying you're not articulate, but like
It
I'd
sound-
really like you to stay.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
god.
Yeah,
it
I'd like you to
sounded
stay.
So much better too. It sounded like you.
unfortunately, with this production, we weren't able to have the luxury of shooting in order. And so there were some intense scenes that we kind of had to get through almost right away. And one of the things that I ran into is that the actor wasn't in the mindset of somebody desperate or somebody.
Is it aimed at him? Can you hear him? Breathe. And action.
I can't know why now. You might want to stay right there.
What we needed for the film at that time. And so a little bit of playing around on screen. You could tell that, oftentimes the crew gets a little bit frustrated if they're just kind of standing around. But take the time and understand that everyone's there to help you. But the people on screen, I'm not saying they're the most important part of the filmmaking process, but that's the performance part. That's the character part. That's the part that your audience is going to really identify with. B-roll and all that stuff is beautiful, but I will say that somebody experiencing a really real emotion is going to have a far better impact on your production than any shot, any B-roll. It's the human face, it's the human emotion, it's the human condition, it's the human element of your film that is going to connect and create fans and keep people engaged in the project that you're making.
Yeah, I get it. Here, I'm standing in front, clapping.
This is what I
Time management is super, super important. Luckily, I had a producer that I worked with in the past, not in the film industry, but just on regular jobs. And we had such a great relationship, and he was so capable of telling me to get back on track. I had everything planned out. I had the shots, I had the schedule, I had everything kind of going. When you're on set, everything's going to change. Maybe not every time if you have the luxury to be very structured with it, but oftentimes with volunteers and with locations that maybe are a little bit more underground, the things don't really work out the way that you expected, and you need to make on-the-fly changes, and that changes the schedule. And so it's really important to be focused and understand how much time you're taking with every single shot, or what shots you actually need to take because a certain crew member or a certain cast member has to leave. During this particular shoot, 5 Candles, we shot from 9 p.m. to 3 in the morning, and we shot on a Saturday to Sunday morning. And I had a cast member who stayed a little bit longer than he needed to, but he had work the next morning, and he stayed till about midnight, 1 in the morning.
So I like it when you call me Big Papa.
Oh God.
One thing that I kept on telling myself and that I had to remind the crew of a few times, the minimum viable product. So what are the shots I absolutely need to tell this particular story? What are the nice to haves, but what are the things that we absolutely, no negotiating, we have to have these particular shots. Everyone is helping you, especially on this particular project. I was working with 100% volunteers. And so it's important for me to make sure that I'm not the one, that it's not my film, it's our film. And anybody's voice is viable. And I want to keep that tradition with all of my productions. So if you have an idea, or if a crew member has an idea, even if they're not behind camera, or if they've never worked on a movie before, listen to their idea. Make sure that your crew and cast are heard. I was constantly asking, what do you guys think? This sort of thing. We didn't have a video village that I could set up, but I was playing some takes that I thought were wonderful on the camera. I have a monitor, and I was showing everyone kind of what the look was starting, how the film was coming about. And when people start to see what the frames are and what the images are coming out of the camera, that's when people get excited. That's when people start getting a little bit more creative, and it becomes this thing that takes on a life of its own. And that is what I believe your job as a director should be. Allow the life of the film to come out through you and encourage collaboration and creativity with your crew. So those are some of the directing tips that I don't really hear talked about too often. People touch on them, but the importance of them, the importance of the paperwork, the importance of the planning, the importance of the crew and the people you surround yourself with, the importance of the communication, that needs to be driven home all the way. Those are the most important things. And you are out there making art, you're having fun, you're making a movie. Make it fun. Don't make it miserable for anybody.
I am recording.
Hey,
All right. You're passed out. Come on.
Mama's milk.
I'm gonna get you. I swear to God.
Hold on, okay.
This has been Let's Make Movies. I want to know from you guys, what are your next productions? What are your next short films that you guys are working on? What is your role going to be on set? Are you just writing it and trying to look for a director? Are you directing? Are you writing, directing, editing, that sort of thing? I want to hear from you guys on what is your favorite part of the filmmaking process and what is your next project. I would love to get involved with as many people as possible. This has been fun. I'm going to keep it rolling. If you guys have any questions, please link it down below. Reach out to me online. I have my website up linked now. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a great year. I know it's hard, but keep at it. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you guys.